Welcome to EQ SYMPHOLIGHT. In the last video we saw how to use images and videos as content in our sequence. And we placed an effect, a video and an image, and we saw the final result, and we also learned that the layer concept of SYMPHOLIGHT requires opacity settings for layers to be rendered through to the final output. You can also, in a sequence, you can mute layers, like on a mixing console, or you can solo layers. So now we have our basic sequence. And to place an effect is the same way as for images and videos. And effects are taken from the effects library. The effects library has two areas. One is the area of user-defined effects, and one is the area of factory effects. And SYMPHOLIGHT comes with a whole set of predefined, ready-to-use effects. There's a second area which is called source effects, and these source effects are used to define new effects from scratch. And this will be part of a later video. Usually you take the effects from the effects library. And to place an effect in your sequence, I will delete this effect in the sequence, and I will use now another ready effect. This is the solid color fade. So I drag it into the sequence, and now I have in the background a color fade. So effects are used the same way as videos and graphics, and are placed in a layer the same way. Effects have, like videos and images, a set of properties, and you can change the properties of an effect to adapt it to your needs or to modify it as you need it. And one thing that you can change here in this color fade is the gradient. SYMPHOLIGHT does not use simple colors. SYMPHOLIGHT uses gradients, and these gradients can be edited. Here I have the gradient, the color spread that is used for this effect. I will change this gradient a little bit. I will place new markers with the plus symbol. And now I will change the color that is placed under this marker. So this is, let's take this one. So this new gradient now is this color change. You can build a library of colors. You can build a library of gradients. Have a look at the gradient editor where you can see predefined gradients that can be used for your show. So now I have edited the gradient for this effect, and the colors are different. As I now edited this effect, and this is not the same effect as in the library, the gradient was changed, I can save this new effect in my effects library, and I call it multi-color chase. So here I have a new user-defined effect because I edited the color, the gradient for the effect. And this is now available in the complete project and also in other projects because it is stored locally in the effects library. Another important property of a layer is the blend mode. And the blend mode defines how the contents of two layers are mixed together. This, for example, is now the blend mode normal. This is luminosity. This is divide, and you see that the rendering of the layers changes. Let's get back to normal. Effects can not only be used for pixel walls, but they can also be used, for example, for my cove light layout. And now here I have a color chase on my cove lights. Back to our pixel wall. So this is the basic use of effects, and there are endless possibilities for using effects. I will delete my previous content and I will now use the effects kaleidoscope. And I'll play this. And every effect has its own set of properties which can be edited. Here for this kaleidoscope effect I can change the number of columns and rows. I can limit this effect to only this tile. I can take another effect and use it for this area. So I have two different effects mirrored over the tiles. The best way to learn how to use effects is to play a little bit around, and you will see that there's a lot you can do with effects. You can edit them, you can save them as user-defined effects. How to build your own effects from scratch will be part of a later video, because this is a little bit more complicated than using the standard predefined effects from the effects library.